Howdy folks, it's Band 0073 here. Today I'm bringing you a video on some of the Bleach abilities. All abilities in Bleach that I've seen in the series. And a little bit more of a general discussion amongst it as well. Like, for instance, I'm going to start off quickly with some of the names Yachiru has used over the series to date. Well, you might ask, why would she use nicknames? I say that's just because it's who she is, and, well, if you've kind of seen the series like I have, you'll kind of realize why she tends to do it. The fact that she's a kid, basically. Well, probably not an ordinary kid would be probably more the correct phrasing there, but oh well. So let's go. We'll just start with nicknames and we'll roll on through the video. So first, and there'll be some Japanese ones in here too. So first up, Kenpachi Zaraki, her captain, and I suppose stepfather if you like, or adopted father, whatever you want to put that. So we have Ken-chan and Kenny. One of my favorite things that is, oh my God, you killed Kenny! You bastards! Or one of the other ones, one of the other pictures I saw. Oh my God, you killed Kenny! Ah, he'll be back next week. And of course, the Ken-chan is Japanese because Chan, Kun, San, those sort of honorifics they tend to use over there. Generally, it's more of a reference to how well people know each other. Anyway, but Ikaku Madarame, Baldy, Cue Ball, Smoothie, Pachinko Head, and Pinball Head. Now, I can consciously remember the first three. Pachinko, I believe, is something along the lines of pinball. I don't know for sure, without looking it up. On to Yumichika Ayasagawa, Yun Yun. That would have to be a Japanese one, I would say. Ichigo Kurosaki. And we all know this one. Ichi. No pun on the first part of his name being Ich, or Ichi for one, anyway. Saijin Komamura. Koma, or Doggy. I don't remember those two myself, but I know Kenpachi, after they had that brief fight and Komamura ran off, when him and Yumichika started talking, well, after Yumichika found him, he called Komamura a wolf-faced bastard in English. Can't remember what it was exactly in Japanese, but anyway. On to Makizo Aramaki. Mini mustache. Maki, mustache guy, and whisker. I remember Mini mustache and mustache guy, and Maki at one point too, but not the others. And we have Maki Ichinose, Maki-chan, or Maki. And I remember Maki in English because I have got that arc. I got pretty much all the episodes, but on to Nanao, I say. Nana. Pretty simple. Shunsui Kyoraku. Shun. No, I think I heard that one in one episode, but anyway. Uretsu Unohana. Who is and this is a fun fact, her actual name that she had at the start of her career as a captain, which was Squad 11, when the Gote 30 was formed. Her name back then was Yachiru Unohana, who of course Kenpachi named Yachiru Kusajishi after, because of the only person he admired, and the only person to make him feel the fear of death in battle, or the thrill of battle, if you like. Now, Retsu's one here is Ri-chan, which would have to be Japanese, obviously, Chan. Izuru, Kira, Izurun. I like the next one. Yoroichi Shihoin. Boobies! That's right, boobies. She got a good set of boobs, too. Yeah, that's not the point. Genryusai Shigekuni Yamamoto. And this one, he gets called this by probably at least 3 characters. Gramps. At least 3 being Ichigo, Kenpachi, and Yachiru. Shunsui has a Sidereal one being Old Man Yama. And I think Kenpachi actually uses that in one episode, but anyway. Mayuri Koratsuchi. Mayurin, I think that's Japanese as well. Byakuya Kuchiki. Byaki. Byakashi and Byakun. The last two I think are Japanese. I know Byaki in English. In episode 229 I think it was. Like a Summer Sea Swimsuit Festival or something it's called. The episode's called, but it's pretty sure it's 229. They have a now they do a flashback when it now explains a bit about what the Shinigami Women's Association making a pool on the Kuchiki family grounds, and of course Byakuya happened to find it, and of course he destroyed it, and yeah, Chihiro goes, "That Byakuya is such a meanie!" Anyway, on to Orihime Inoue. Jiggles, big boobies, and boobies. Jiggles and boobies I can actually remember. I don't remember big boobies, but anyway. These next three I do know. Ganju Shiba, monkey. Yasutora Sato, muscles. And Uryu Ishida, pencil. You can see where she got those from, can't you? On to Jushiro Ukitake. Uki. That would have to be Japanese again, probably. Shusuke Amagai. Ama. Again, Japanese, I would say. Shuhei Hisagi. Hisa. Again, Japanese, more than likely. Masayoshi. Mappy. And Mayu. Mayu. If she's used any more since I last updated my list, I will include them, but at this point I don't think she has. So, with that one out of the way, let's move on to the Zero. This overlaps into another one, sort of. Being when I find my fucking page. Or is it on here? Hold on. I got so much crud here, it's not funny. Some of this is reference to my videos, other this is just to, help me explain stuff. Here we go. Zero. Variations. Now I'm gonna cover not just the colors here, but the variations we see. Don't mind my vest. Anyway. Where were we? Zero. That's right. Now, I just gotta pull up a document here because this is way updated. I actually way updated this when I did my list updating session I had a little while ago. Damn it, computer! Zero. There we go. Now, I'm also gonna cover Ryatsu colors as well. Fuck you, computer! It didn't do what I wanted it to do, folks. But basically, the Zero is just a concentrated blast of Ryatsu that can be immensely powerful or stupidly weak. Now, as an example of immensely powerful, you've got... It's probably the most powerful Zero we've seen. Oh, probably Stark or Hallibell, I would imagine, had the most powerful Zero if we're taking Tosen out of the equation. Because you've got to remember that Tosen's Zero actually came from holification, like Shinji's. And of course, the other visors use a Zero, which is not many. Yeah. Now, there's a lot of variations of a Zero. Now, I'll go into the variations first, because it might make it a little bit easier to get a handle on it. Now, some characters, they have a specialized Zero, like Stark, Nal, Dondo Chaka, and Pesce. Charlotte Coolhorn's another one. Oh my god, I hate that character. Fucking drag queen. Ugh. Look, if they had it in a mirror, I think he would have broke it. That's how much I hate him. Ugh. And I cannot believe Mayuri fucking resurrected him as a zombie in the current arc. Spoiler alert for those of you who are behind on that one. But I forget what chapter that was, and I don't really care. Ugh, don't like the character. Anyway, that aside, we have Nell's variation, the Zero Doble, in which she absorbs her opponent's Zero, or rather, swallows it if you like. And then, and basically regurgitates it would probably be the best word. Fires it back at her opponent, combined with her own Zero, making her potent Zero Doble, or double Zero. And Zero in Spanish is zero, by the way. Japanese, Zero is Hollow Flash. Because anything to do with your arrancars has a Spanish motive, which I'll discuss when I do the Resurrection. Probably the best area to do that one. So yeah, she only ever uses it once, really, as the proper Zero Doble, which is her adult form against Noitora. Which he completely forgot about, which made it even more funny. Well, and when she uses it in her child form, she's actually only able to return a Zero that her opponent fired, not combined with her own, because she didn't have access to her full abilities. So, anyway, we move on to a Zero used by Fracciones. The Zero Syncretico. Synchronized Hollow Flash, or United Hollow Flash for Japanese. Synchronized Zero, if you want the Spanish. But Zero Syncretico. Because remember, they do have a little bit of a mispronunciation, so in Japanese. But anyway, I did the Japanese one there just to give you an idea. I'm not even gonna try the next one on my list in Japanese. Anyway, basically, the Zero Syncretico is an attack used by Pesce Gattiche and Dondo Chaka Bilstein. Now, it combines their own Zeros into one powerful blast, basically by charging simultaneously and combining them. They fire the Zero at Zanpakuto Grands in that fight. Now, although it didn't work, Xyle actually states had they used it earlier, he probably wouldn't have been able to counter it. But because he had time to analyze their Ryatsu, he was able to apply a little bit of his own spiritual pressure at the right point and just split it. Now, he actually even mentioned that it was a marvelous technique, and probably would have more likely defeated him before he had a chance to analyze the Ryatsu. Now, it does actually greatly drain Pesce and Dondo Chaka, because they were both gasping for air, and on the point of collapse after using it. So, it gives you some idea how much energy it takes out of them. But that may have been the only time they've actually used it in battle, too. So, had they used it more in battle, they might be able to do it with less feedback, I suppose, would be the word. Now we move on to the next one, and probably my most hated Zero of the series. Beautiful Charlotte Coolhorn's final wonderful. Sorry again. Beautiful Charlotte Coolhorn's final, holy, wonderful, pretty, super magnum, sexy, glamorous Zero. Yes, that is the name. The whole name. It's just basically a variation of a normal Zero. Despite having a long name, as I just said, it's a normal Zero, which Yumichika states. However, it does have a rather wide blast radius. And because it's used in Resurrection, well, yeah. That power makes it more powerful, but anyway. Now, we move on to the Zero Oscuras, which, or more correct, Zero Oscuro. Now, it's a black Zero, but we only see it used by Ukiura now, and that was in his Resurrection form. Or probably more correctly, Resurrection Segunda Etapa. But anyway, he compares that Ichigo's black gets a Gatensho. Now, of course, Go's only exposed light in pitch black darkness, although it's the only Espada he's shown to use it so far. Ukiura told Ichigo that it is an Espada's fully powered black Zero. Now, does that imply that he's not the only one to use it when he says Espadas? Or is he the only one to use it because his aspect of death, I'm going to try my list here, is emptiness. Now, emptiness can mean darkness, blackness, you know. Hence why he uses a very dark black zero in Resurrection. Now, and he also is referred to it as our zero. Now, is it a zero they can only use in Resurrection? I don't know. Can I use it outside of that? More than likely, not, because we only see Ukiyo use it in Resurrection. Oh, well, Segunda Etapa. But its range is fucking vast, and its power is massive. Like, it's enough to shatter Ichigo's hollow mask and blow a hole straight through his chest and pretty much kill him, save for his hollow protecting him, basically. And it also destroyed half the dome of Las Noches. Now, Zero Oscuras is a far greater, more powerful form of Zero than the Standard. Now, we also have the Zero Metralleta, which only Stark uses because that's his special Zero for Resurrection. And speaking of special Zeros, now, as far as I'm aware, should be able to use the Zero Doble in Resurrection, though we haven't seen it yet. Anyway, now, its variation of Zero, which is performed in his Zero Metralleta, is performed by Stark in Resurrection by using his right pistol. He's able to fire basically a barrage or as his name translates as machine gun Zero. Now, basically like a machine gun firing. And of course, he first and last used it against Kyoraku. Well, don't speak Kyoraku. Now, it's kind of used slightly differently in Bleach Soul Resurrection, the game, on PS3. Now, he uses it first by spinning his left gun and then pointing at his target, and then again his right one doing the same thing, actually firing with his right gun. Now, that's just a variation of ways performed for the game I'm taking it. Could he actually do it like that and increase the power of the technique? I don't know. I guess it could be a way to increase his power by doubling the, in essence, doubling the amount of fire. Because he's shown to have no limit to what he can fire with either gun, because he can alter the power of the blast. So, now moving on to the ultimate Zero, which Greninja actually states in Soul Resurrection, but when he uses this technique, he just says, "This is the ultimate Zero," instead of its name. Sometimes. And it is the Grand Rey Zero, or Grand King Zero, so Rey being king. Now, it's a Zero that only a Spada can use. It is performed by mixing their own blood with a Zero. Now, be it in the manner Greninja did it by actually stabbing his sword in the ground and then slashing his hand along the cutting edge, or having their hand cut when they receive a wound from their opponent. It doesn't matter. As long as they can combine their blood with the Zero, it doesn't matter. But by doing it, it creates a Zero with much greater attack power and speed, as well as a color unique to the Espada using it. And it would be many more times powerful than even a Zero Oscuras. So, and it's basically capable of disturbing the fabric of space because it spins like a razor upon release, and it compresses and decompresses due to the sheer speed and raw power. Now, it's first used by Greninja in order to incite Ichigo into holofying. And it's also said by Ukiyo that it is one of the two things that are banned in Las Noches. Those being, as I told the name of the technique here, the Grand Rey Zero, and the release of Resurrection of a Spada rank 4 or higher. And that both, the long reason it's so overwhelming that it could destroy the fortress. And Greninja is the only current member to utilize the attack. Current member is supposed to utilize it. Now, we actually do see at another point in the anime that Zanpakuto Granz uses it as well when he goes to hell after he's defeated at the hands of Mayuri. Now, Green is the only one that I can remember who's used it as a named technique. Green is blue. His Gran Recero color is blue, and Xylopodos is pink. Now, as to the other colors for this part, I don't know. I'm going to assume that Hollybells will probably be gold. Starks would more than likely be white. I don't know. You said it was blue, but I don't. To be honest, I don't really know. Hollybells you could assume would be gold, but because their spiritual energy is gold. Now I wonder. If you were working on spiritual energy, you could actually have Starks as light blue, not the pitch blue that we see Green Giles as. But on that topic alone, the colors of the Gran Recero could be anything. Yeah. But anyway, now I'll run through the Cero colors in a moment that we do see. There is a similar technique to Cero called a bala, which is not as powerful, but it moves a lot faster, and it's just basically a compressed sphere of spiritual energy that gets fired from the fist, as if in a punching motion. Yami likes to use it, which you see when he tries to pummel the ever-loving fuck out of Urahara, which fails. And can knock an opponent out, or could even kill them if you hit them in the right spot because it's compressed and it's hardened. But as I said, it's not as powerful as a Cero, but it's the speed that could actually get you caught in it. Now, we move on to the other arrancar ability, which I'm probably guessing the Ichigo and the Visor would have being part hollow as well, at least to a degree. It's a hero, or steel skin, which basically means hard. Basically, it's like hardened spiritual pressure on the skin, constantly on your skin. It acts as if it's steel, which can be cut through by someone of superior spiritual pressure, or spiritual energy. Now, this is different to Chengdu's ability, the Iron. Now, his ability actually basically converts his skin into iron, as it were. A hero is just a steel skin that is on the outside, basically compressed of their spiritual energy, but then hardening it. And be it by many battles, their spiritual energy and whatnot, they can harden their hero even further than, say, someone like Deroy Rinker, whose was pretty thin because it couldn't even withstand Rukia's Someno Mai Tsukishiro technique. And that was before she attained Bankai in the Soul Palace, or Soul King Palace, but yeah. Now we have Gonzui, which is Soul Inhalation, which we only see Yami using. Now, does he do that to increase his power? That seems to lack the explanation, because I think that's actually what happens. Now, the weakness of, strength of the soul would probably likely determine how easily it's absorbed. Like Otohime, Chad, Uryu, and Ishiko, they would have a lot of trouble being absorbed by Yami because of their power, so, Now, just briefly on to Pesquisa, which is an arrancar's ability to detect, sense, and gauge the amount of reactive in his or her vicinity. There is another version, which I'll have to look up, which Noitora actually uses specifically aimed at Kenpachi to measure his spiritual pressure. Which in turn tells Tesra not to attack Kenpachi, but he does. Anyway, it goes Tesla gets to hit it in one slash straight at the middle. Now, probably the most prominent of a Hollow's abilities, outside of the Zero, and in some cases Royal Strength, is Chosok Saisei. It literally means ultra-fast regeneration, or as it's known in Bleach, high-speed regeneration. Now, many hollows, particularly the arrancars and the visits. Now, Ichigo is shown to use this while holified. And in one instance, while he wasn't holified. Although he'd just come out of holification because he regained control. And he's fighting against Ulquiorra when he collapsed to the ground. And then the remnants of his hollow power and the mask and that actually regenerated that hole that was blown through his chest. And in which case he promptly woke up. So, you could say technically he wasn't holified when he used it, because technically speaking he wasn't when it regened, but it was his hollow power doing it, so in a way he was holified. So that's a bit of a fence sitter, that one. But probably the foremost user of Chosok Saisei, or high speed regeneration, is Ulquiorra. Because he's one arrancar alone that can basically regenerate any part of his body, bar his internal organs. His internal organs will slowly regenerate, but his brain cannot. And it's known he can regenerate his eyes because he uses them as video cameras, essentially, when he crushes them and shows eyes on that what he saw. In the world of Dungai, in the world of the living. So, yeah. Now, I'll move on to, briefly, the Zero colors. Basically we have the standard color of Crimson, which is used by a lot of hollows and other characters who can use it. Yeah, Hollow Ichigo, Shinji Hirako, Hiyori Sarugaki, Yami Liargo, Grimjow Jaggerjack, Emilu Apache, the Hammerhead Arrancar, Batekaroa, Dordoni Alessandro del Sosaccio, Ion, Michael, and the Guardian of the Forest of Menos. And as I say, basically many other hollows that use Zeros, generally happen to be crimson or a red color. Now, Gio Vega used a magenta one twice in his fight with Soifo. So yes, magenta, or magenta, I don't care how you pronounce it, is used by Gio Vega. Indigo by Findor Callius. The burnt orange is used by Francesca Miller Rose. Green by Ulquiorra Schiffer and Choneng Po. One name which fucking Tekken got wrong in his latest review of a chapter when he mentioned Chinese names. One I mentioned a little bit earlier, Chengdu, he got wrong by calling it Kang. And I will do another video on those name pronunciations. So that'll be a whole separate video. Or multiple videos because there's a lot of names to do. Anyway, on to Lime Green, Lilynette Gingerback, as she's called in English. It's Ginger Buck, probably in Japanese, but back in English. Mashiro Kuna, holified of course, and Kaname Tosen, again holified in Resurrection. Oh, probably just Resurrection actually, I think. La Mirada, if I remember the technique right. The Golden Yellow, Noitora Gilga, or Jilga, doesn't matter. Tia Haribel, and Dondochaka Bilstein, now that's his English name. Birstan, or Birstane, is his original name. Now, Light Teal, Nirgay Parduk, Blue, Coyote Stark! Oh yes, and the weakest Seto I forgot to mention before was actually Lilynette's. With the fact that Yoshida could just swat it away and smash it with his bare hand. Now, and that's keeping in mind Yoshida's spiritual energy was far above Lilynette's anyway, being a captain, so. Anyway, Violet. Now, one here is actually slightly ambiguous because we don't actually know her Seto color yet. Which is Neliatu Odelschwank. Now, when she used the Seto Doble, it appeared violet. Was that because it's a mix of her color and the gold? I don't know. Well, we don't know, really. Or was the violet her actual color? Now, I'd like you to comment in the description in the comments below on what you think her actual color is, because it almost seems violet with the Cerro Doble, and I'm not sure that's her actual color. Now, we have Pesce Gattiche, Wonderweiss Magella, and Muramasa as a hollow. And finally, pink. Charlotte Coolhorn, Cyan Sunsun, and Xylapido Grants. Okay. From there on to Ryatsu colors, briefly. Now, the difference here. Rei Ryoku is the potential, and Ryatsu is the spiritual pressure. And as a furtherance, you have Reishi, which is spirit particles, which Quincy's utilized for their techniques, which I'll delve into a couple of those a little bit later. Where are you? Where are your documents, you biatch? I have a oh, fucking motherfucker! It changed position, folks, to be a bitch. Because it wanted to be a bitch, most likely. Okay. Now, there we go. A lot of characters have a color. It might be one color in Shikai. It could change in Bankai, like it does with a few characters. Now, biatch! Let's try that again. Now, here we go. We have black, which is Ichigo Kurosaki in the final Getsuga Tenshu. Now, due to the revelation of this new form of his in the Battle of Iwa, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't read the chapter, by the time this video gets posted, will he still have access to the final Getsuga? Will it still be black? Who knows? Now, black with the blue outline, Ichigo Kurosaki, Bankai, which was the original one, before his hollow got involved. We have black with a green outline, which is Ukiura Shifa in Resurrection. Black with a purple outline, Kaname Tosen, with Hollow Mask and Resurrection. Black with a red outline, Ichigo Kurosaki, the later Bankai, which is after fighting Byakuya when his hollow interferes, and after he actually subjugates in a hollow, and when he uses his hollow mask. Now blue, Grimjow Jaggerjack, Coyote Stark, Izuru Kira. Now that's a little ambiguous because I think it's more of a very, very light blue, almost white myself, but now Koga Kuchiki. Again, similar thing. I think it's more of a very, very light blue. And Muramasa as a hollow hybrid. Now, the golden yellow. Ichigo Kurosaki, which was in Hell when Hell lent him its power to stop Kokuto. Which is another character I've actually got to do a pronunciation for, because that's a little bit of a tricky one. Anyway. Where are we? Tia Halibel, Noitora Gilga, Soy Foam, and Orihime Inoue. Now, I don't remember Orihime's, though, to be honest. When I get back to watching episodes, I'll probably see it. I'm watching a few here and there at the moment, just to regain some knowledge on a few subjects. Multicolor, the only one to actually see this, and only once we see it. Maki Ichinose, which he does against Kenpachi Zaraki in the Bound-Off. We have pink, Yachiro Kusajishi, Mayuri Kuratsuchi. We also have Xylapido Grands, Morechio Omaida, Kaname Tosen, Loli Elvern, Hiyori Sarugaki, Zomari Ruru, and Cyan Sunsan. Orange! Hachigen Ushoda, and Kirakaze, which is a character in the Toju part of the Zanpakuto Rebellion, which is after Muramasa defeated. Orange Red, Yami Liargo in Resurrection, and Francesca Miller Rose. On to red, and probably is the most common. Renji Abarai, Baragan Ruizenban, Sajin Komamura, which we see when he uses Bankai against Po. Mayuri Kuratsuchi in Bankai as well. Momo Hinamori, Ikaku Madarame, which is actually more potent Or just, I think it's actually more so seen when he used Bankai. Although we do see it in the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc when he helps close that Garganta. It was formed. Genryusai Shigekuni Yamamoto. Now his technically is not red, because his Ryatsu actually ends up erupting in fire. So that kind of red, orange, and yellow would be better. I'll explain a little bit about that when I get down to the bottom of this part. Emilu Apache. Hollow Ichigo. Now that one we know is red. Just watch his fight against Sukiura. Muramasa with hollows damaging his body. Violet. Sosuke Aizen. And Muramasa when he's absorbing hollows. White. Byakuya Kuchiki. Toshiro Hitsugaya. Rangiku Matsumoto. And Soifong in Shunko. Yoruichi Shihoin in Shunko. Now, if you watch the anime when Yoruichi uses Shunko, it actually looks more like a very, very pale yellow. Anyway, it was a Rukia Kuchiki. That references her ice controlling abilities with Sode no Shirayuki. More so. And white with a red outline. Hollow Ichigo, or Zangetsu. Spoiler alert for those of you who haven't got that far yet. Doubt there'd be many, but which was he's Bankai in Ichigo's inner world. Now we also have a couple of characters here who make shapes with their Ryatsu. Like Ichigo, whose blue spiritual energy actually forms the shape of his hollow mask when he fights Zaraki. And Zaraki's golden energy forms the shape of a menacing skull when he faces Ichigo. Same battle, Soul Society arc. Now, that same arc, same battle, albeit from the sidelines, Yachiru makes a cat-like face shape out of her Ryatsu when she tells that Stealth Force messenger to fuck off. Now, we have a quote from Zangetsu before I get into some of the techniques, and I'll actually do this quote again at the end of the video. But it is: abandon your fear, look forward, move forward, and never stop. You'll age if you pull back. You'll die if you hesitate. When you think about it, that's actually quite right. Now, let's get rid of that. Where are we? I think I'll discuss Orihime's techniques in here with the Quincy ones. And Chad's briefly as well. Seeing there's not a lot to talk about there. I got a bit to delve into with the others. Oh, and I'll do the one other thing I've got here. Now, Orihime's abilities haven't really been fully explained in the series. Now, we know that they, especially her healing power, has the ability to reject any damage done to that limb or part of the body, be it arm, torso, leg, whatever, and restore it back to its state before it took damage. Now, that's how she healed Ichigo when he had his spine pretty much severed by Aizen. So, yeah. Now, basically her thing was the name of the... When she initially had it, she had to call it the name of the Shunshun Rika, which is actually the name of her powers now. So she had to call out the name of the 3 beings that were 2 or 3, or 1 in the case of one of her techniques, or 4 with her new one. And she had to say those names, and then after I reject. So, as a reference, and it's a reference to the nature of powers which reject whatever is happening. As I say, healing rejects the damage done to the area of the body and restores it to a state before it took damage. It's almost like, quite literally like a time reversal, which Aizen somewhat, even though it was sort of passing, theorized. Now, we actually don't know the full extent of her powers, but we do know they are swayed by her emotions. Now, because she loves Ichigo, her powers are going to be a lot stronger when it's used for him, be it healing or stopping him, as in a battle with stopping an attack on him, like in the current battle with Iova, which I'll delve into when I get to her first ability here, which is Santen Keshun, or the three Sacred Links Shield, which is her defensive ability. Now, it arranges 3 of the Shinjinrika, Hinagiku, Lily, and Bygone, into a triangle-shaped wall of energy that blocks basically any and all attacks up to a certain power level. And again, as I say, it's swayed by emotion, so the power of that wall is determined by basically how she feels about the person, really. Now, Ichigo had trouble standing up to Iova's black energy, but when Orihime used Santen Keshun to block that energy because of her love for Ichigo and her desire to see him unharmed, she easily blocked the energy. Easily. And also, I'm going to theorize a little bit here, that because of her feelings for Ichigo and her desire not to see him hurt, it also increased the size of the shield, because it's absolutely fucking massive, at least twice the height of Ichigo when she uses it. Now, where are we? The Santen Keshun can actually rejects negative events, and on that basis, it can actually use an airbag of sorts, allowing Orihime and anyone else nearby to survive a potentially lethal fall unharmed. Which she does in the Soul Society, like when her and Uryu fall into that unpopulated area, the Serete. So, yeah. Now we have Soten Kishun, which is her healing ability. Now, this one is determined by her emotions and feelings for the person. Because the more feelings she has of a person in that, the actually more powerful the healing ability comes, and the more severe wounds she can heal. Now, here we have now, it's just back on Santen Keshun, and it has on my thing here. It has her shield has the ability to repel the outer shield. Now, that would reference repelling attacks or whatever hits it. And Soten Kishun, the healing has the ability to repel the inner shield. Now that means repel anything that's within that shield, which means damage. Therefore, healing rejecting it. Now, and as it states here on my list, direct quote, in other words, they return a subject covered by the shield to the state they were before taking damage. So, yeah. And it's shown by the fact that she was capable of fully restoring Grimjow's sword arm from basically the complete just stump that was, I suppose it was just left there after Kaname sliced it up. So, which Aizen deduced as the rejection of events. And Aizen goes on to theorize there, her ability, this particular ability, I'm guessing, is to limit, reject, and negate any kind of event that has happened to her target. And basically it's an ability that returns her target to its former state no matter what has happened. Now, that was sort of limited against Ichigo. Well, on Ichigo when Okura blew the hole in his chest. May have been because of her emotional state at the time. I don't know, but as I say, her powers are swayed by her emotions, so theoretically her feelings and love for Ichigo and her desire to protect him would therefore mean, probably more so now, and also confidence probably would be another thing as well. That hole was blown in his chest, she should be able to heal it easily. Now, then she couldn't. Probably because she was so scared and shit. More than likely. But anyway. Now, Yasuchika Iomura actually comments that the technique's healing speed is potentially faster than Usane Kotetsu's and his own. Now, the however part here. It's actually potentially, it is far more powerful than temporal regression or spatial regression, as it easily tramples into God's territory. Now, it's a power that. I'm sorry, I got my. It easily travels into the horizon of events that God has decided. Now, it is a power that trespasses into God's territory. So, here's some idea how powerful it really is. Now, originally she wasn't actually able to heal Tsubaki, which I'll get into in the next one. Now, Hachigen Ushoda states that a Ryatsu being still. With her reactor, she should have powers very similar to his own. Now, therefore, she should be able to restore him without even a shattered fragment, in theory. But later, she's apparently capable of resurrecting the dead. It takes her actually longer to replenish the patient's reactor, which is where the 4th division comes in. Because large amounts of foreign spiritual pressure make healing more difficult because of the influence. No. Okay. On to Koten Zanshun, her offensive technique, which summons Tsubaki, and it has the ability to help both sides of the shield because it's like basically like a razor, as it were. Now, bonus, he breaks through an enemy. Puts up a shield inside and repels the combined substance, thus splitting the enemy in two, which is basically just like a razor, essentially. Yeah, well, you can cut through basically anything, but her general dislike combat and hesitance to use lethal force actually degrades the effectiveness of the technique. It became easy to counter and equally easy to injure. Now, there's not much to go on there. Now, we have one she actually showed in a Lost Substitute arc here, which is Shiten Koshin. Which summons Hinagiku Lilian Baigon in the shield and Tsubaki in the center of it, which not only blocks her opponent's attack, but actually because it creates a pyramidal shield at the variation of receiving attack, it actually disperses the resultant force as a concentrated explosion that is automatically returned along the attack's opposing trajectory. So, practically, if it hits straight on, it repels straight out, essentially. Now, I'm wondering if there's not actually a second thing to that, where if it gets on the type of attack, say a setup, because it's like, say it's just like a cylinder, as it were. You know, we see him actually expanding out anyway, but just say it's a constant cylinder at the time it hits him. With that pyramidal shield, despite it repelling back, could she actually use that in a slight different way and split the attack straight down the middle, so it just goes straight along the sides of the pyramid and right around her, in a similar principle to her just straight shield where it blocks. But instead of just blocking, it splits it out. So there is that theory. So I'm going to continue this in another video. And yeah, I will. Yeah, I did forget my little key phrase at the start, but I'll return next video. So yeah, leaving this with that. And this is Band 0073, smoking up those tires, burning that rubber on out of here, and signing out.